All right, welcome to episode 4 after a 2-week break of Jotting Down Thoughts podcast with Jacob and Jay. I'm Jacob and
This is Jay.
And today we're probably going to focus mostly on our best friends, past and present. So if that's something you're interested in, we've got plenty of stories to tell. So I think I'll start it off with, back in elementary school, I'm going to be honest, I think this is the only time I had a girl as my best friend throughout my whole life, was back in elementary school. I don't know if I want to say names, because what if she hears it? Whatever. I don't know if that'd be weird or not. We'll call her Samantha.
Call her Samantha.
Yeah. Samantha's the name. And so this was I think it was 3rd grade when we officially met. And I just remember going to recess all the time and hanging out with her and playing hopscotch and Foursquare and whatnot, and just living life.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, there's not much else to that story, actually. I know I said we have really interesting stories, but back in 3rd grade, that's it.
When you play Foursquare and you play hopscotch and play a bunch of stuff, it seems like you're playing the best thing or most exciting thing ever in the time, right?
That's the highlight of your life, is recess.
That's what you're thinking about during class.
Mm-hmm.
You're not thinking about what the teacher says.
Who am I going to play hopscotch with?
You're thinking about who's going to be in the Foursquare, which 3.
Yep. Who's the king?
Who's the king?
Yep.
Richie beat me last time. He's going down this time.
Yep.
That type of thing. So
me and Samantha have already come up with this master plan to take Richie down. So
yeah, dude. That's why probably we got all this stuff. I remember when what was it in 3rd grade? I was in Santee, and I had a bunch of different friends. I had a bunch of different friends in sports and stuff. We played kickball, and then eventually I think in 3rd grade they let us do wiffle ball or something like that. Some actual, and we were all into baseball, and I knew them all from Little League and stuff. And I remember that, just Little League friends from baseball, stuff like that. I remember really liking Santee, but it's weird too. You never know or remember why you were certain friends or friends with certain people, because I remember I was friends with them, but I also started talking to maybe a couple other kids too, and they were a little different crowd, different. I don't know if that's a part of being when you're a young kid, is your mind or your social abilities or what the deal is with that, but I think I was talking to a bunch of different people, and these 2 other kids, they were not doing too well in school, and I think I got to really know them in 5th grade, and they weren't doing too well in school, and I kind of wasn't doing well with them, starting to fail classes, first time ever, and I remember me not hanging out with them for a bit, and then they got busted for shoplifting at a Walmart or something like that.
Dang.
It's sad too. It's so crazy. Kind of different. It's not I stopped talking to them. I think I moved, right, and I found out that they got shoplifting shortly after I moved.
Dang.
Yeah.
Well, that's good that you moved then, because otherwise you could have went down that path, right?
Right.
Because it is all about who you hang out with.
Yeah.
It's who you surround yourself with that can definitely change your future. But you mentioned sports, and I think that's where a lot of my best friends in my younger days came from, is just being in Little League for baseball. I can remember 2 guys in particular. I mean, there was more. I think 3 in particular. Anthony Ortega. I don't want to say the last names. Y'all going to look him up now. All right, Anthony. Super cool dude. I actually have been mostly keeping in touch with him still to this day. Another guy, Javier, and Brent, the 3 of us, all playing Little League together. We went to middle school together. I remember going on a vacation with Javier's family in Palm Springs. Super cool.
Dang.
All nice people. and I think they're all doing pretty good still. But unfortunately, we don't talk as much. But yeah, all really cool people. We went to different high schools, so that's kind of where the friendship faded a little bit. But anytime we see each other just randomly, it's like things have never changed.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Those are the people that those kinds of people are the best. Is where you can not see them for 5-10 years, and then once you reconnect, it's like that gap was never there.
Yeah, that's crazy cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like we mentioned in our podcast before, like we've had friends since we were in high school, since I was in senior in high school. But I remember I was always like if I stopped talking to my friends, it was just like we just all of a sudden didn't talk, and it was like it sucked.
Yeah.
Like I remember, I had friends in middle school, like two best friends in particular, and then one like we like really stayed in touch, and he like I went to Helix, he went to San Diego High, and I called. We were calling each other, and then I called him, and he didn't answer one day, and then he didn't answer again and again and again and again. So like that sucks. Like stuff like that sucks. But that's cool because like you know, honestly, it's like how many like if I were to keep in touch with all the friends I've had in my life, I would have hundreds, bro.
Yeah.
And that's a bit much.
Yeah.
That's a bit much. That's too much.
You don't need that many. That's just overwhelming, right?
Yeah.
Trying to keep in touch with all those people when you have like your own stuff going on.
Right.
Yeah, that would be too much. I'm good with, like a few friends, just a handful of friends, and I don't know, they seem to there's like a cycle to your friends, right? Like you meet them and things are, you guys are kind of timid a little bit, and then you start to ramp that up, and then you guys are super close for a while, doing everything together, talking like every day, and then something happens where it just starts to fade a little bit, right? It fades, and then you have that last conversation at some point, or that last text, or that last hangout, and then you don't talk to each other for a long time, sometimes forever. But, once that one ends, there's always a new one. It's like sometimes there's a little bit of overlap, right? You start hanging out with a new crowd for whatever reason. Maybe you moved, maybe you're at a new school, new job, whatever it is, and I don't know.
Well, obviously you get these friends doing clubs, and so I don't know, I don't know, for you, did you like have a bunch of friends like after baseball, or like what did you have like because I know in middle school, right? That's when right around you stopped playing. Am I correct?
Yeah, for baseball I didn't play freshman year. Well, I didn't play for Helix for our high school in freshman year, but I was still playing as a freshman in the Little League at like the highest level.
Yeah.
Like I was almost capped off. Like I almost couldn't play because I was like a little too old for Little League. But that's when I stopped playing. And yeah, when you're not going to those places, like playing baseball with those guys, and you're not in school with them, then it's like you don't see them and you can't really make plans.
Right.
Like we didn't really have phones back then. Like I got my first phone in middle school, but it's not like how it is today. You have to like pay to call, pay to text and stuff, and not everyone had a phone. So it's hard to keep in touch. I remember we would call each other's houses, like each other's landlines, and like ask their mom if you could talk to them.
Yeah.
But I would say most of my friends came from either school or like Little League, because that's the only like club thing I would say I participated in. The only after school thing, because I didn't really do anything in high school. And then I feel like my only other like best friend at any point in my life was my neighbor when I lived at my dad's house. I think I probably met him probably soon after we moved in, and I don't know when we really picked up, like when we started like hanging out all the time, but probably like around 8 or 9 years old. I remember we would play, because we live on a cul-de-sac, so there's like there's not really cars like going up and down it very often, so we're always out in the street playing. riding bikes, playing hide and go seek,
Yeah.
tag. I remember we set up this bike ramp once, and we're all going off it. It was like super small. It's just like a piece of wood, like leaned up on another piece of wood, basically. Pretty sketchy, but we're all going off it, just trying to get a little piece of air,
Yeah.
just to, I don't know, have a little fun, I guess. I think we were probably like 10 years old, but I remember I was pretty scared to go off it. I think I did it once, and it was okay, but I didn't get much air.
Uh-huh.
So I wanted to do it again and get more air and try to one-up them or whatever. So I go off it, and I eat shit completely. I land, I think I flip off my bike like sideways, and then luckily I have my helmet on because I bang my helmet on the ground, and then I like slide on my elbow for like 5 feet, which is just,
Ooh.
it's the street, so it's like straight up concrete or whatever. And then
Asphalt.
I see my neighbor and a couple other people. I think they're neighbors at the time or just friends or whatever. They're like laughing, or I hear them laughing before I see them, and I instantly think they're laughing at me. And I'm like, I just ate shit. I'm in like the worst pain of my childhood life, and these guys are laughing. So I go up to them and I'm like cussing at them, and I'm like, because I have to walk past them to get to my door to like go to my parents and cry to them.
Yeah.
So I'm like cussing at them, like telling them shut the fuck up, like walking past them, and apparently they were just laughing at something else. Like they weren't really even watching me go off the ramp. They were just laughing at, I don't know, they're telling a joke to each other or something. But yeah,
Self-absorbed.
I'm like crying, walking past them, thinking like they're
The world was watching me.
It was just me
crash.
I'm going off this ramp that I'm super stoked for, and y'all weren't watching me.
That happened to me too.
Yeah.
I remember I wasn't even wearing a helmet, dude.
Ooh.
And I hit, I don't know if I hit the curb or something, and I'm like laying on the grass, and my friend thinks there's a rose petal next to my head. Really, it was blood, but like he was like it was weird, bro. Like he was like I'm on the grass, and he's like, I'm like hurting, and he's like, hey, you got a rose petal next to your head, dude. And I'm like, oh, it's not a rose. And I put my head, it's not a rose petal. Weird, but like
super weird
stuff like. But like I remember doing stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
When I moved to IB, that was an interesting time, bro. Like I remember like moving from Santee. I had to move to IB, right? I remember doing stuff like that. My mom's ex, like who we lived with, he said, okay, it was like maybe 9 or 10, like this is on the weekend, 9 or 10 in the morning. He said, go outside and don't come back inside until the sun goes down. If you want water, here's a hose.
Jeez.
Yeah, like
nice.
And like he taught us to build jumps and do stuff like that. And I remember playing outside a lot at that time. But I remember going to IB, right? And Imperial Beach, right, is obviously a beach town, but I lived inland.
Mm-hmm.
It was considered IB, but it was inland.
Yeah.
So like I remember like being with my brother, and he was like we walked in our first day of school, and like I think I maybe mentioned this before, but we like looked at each other and we're like, man, we're the only white kids here. And but like, see, that's the thing. I was able to make I'm able to make friends really easily. It's not like I don't think it's because I'm super social or I'm really good at approaching people. That's just the way it happens for me when I was a kid growing up. Because I remember like right away, like I remember like being put in these group of kids, and like we would like I remember like getting in trouble the first week because like they're like we're having a rock fight, and then like I'm 10 years old, 10 or 11 years old. I'm like, all right, and so like we're throwing rocks at other kids, dude. Damn. Crazy stuff, like crazy, just throwing rocks at other kids, and yeah, I remember getting in trouble right away, dude. Like my mom's like, what the heck, like.
Did she blame you or did she blame the kids you're hanging out with?
I can't really remember. It's probably she probably did a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know, but like I remember stuff like that, and then like but after that, like I made friends with another group of kids, and they were more into sports. So just like you gravitate towards people that you like kind of relate to. They were more into sports, and
Mm.
it was cool. Like I think they were really into having one white kid in their group.
Yeah.
You know, like they thought it was. I don't know. Like we became the most popular kids in that school. It was fun, bro.
Interesting.
And yeah, I loved that school, bro. But
I think my middle school, I was one of the very few white kids. Like, there wasn't much, so I was kind of in a similar situation to you. I do have an interesting middle school story, kind of similar. I don't know. I guess it's kind of similar to your rock throwing one, but I started hanging out with. I feel like I was cool with most people there, most kids in my grade, and so I would kind of hang out with just whoever. Like, I had my select few groups that I would hang out with, like during lunch or whatever. And one day, these like 2 or 3 kids who are like super tight, they bring like firecrackers and like mini fireworks essentially to school. So they go to like the corner of like the outside area where there's like a track and basketball hoops. They go to like the far area and they start setting them off. And obviously like staff members heard it and everything, and so they like go over there, and I don't know if they caught the guys or if they saw them do it or if they just saw everyone kind of running, but they ended up like identifying a few of us that were like running from the general area where the fireworks went off, and I got called like to the principal's office and had to get my bag searched and everything. Obviously, I didn't have anything on me, so I was good. I got away with it.
Yeah.
I didn't really do anything,
Dang.
so I didn't get away with, whatever, because I didn't do
Right.
anything. But, yeah, I guess if I hung out with that crowd for longer, I could have ended up, maybe
Right.
down, like, a path where I get in trouble and parents get involved and stuff. But
Yeah.
luckily, it was just a fun experience for me and a good story.
Right. Well, I mean, hey, bro, like, even even that, like that school I went to, and those friends I had, I don't know, like obviously we did kid stuff. Like after school, we would go to hit up the ice cream truck, get some hot Cheetos, and back then,
Yeah.
chamoy was a big thing in that neighborhood. So you automatically get your hot Cheetos and have the ice cream truck guy pour chamoy in your hot Cheetos. You eat it. I remember stuff like that. I really liked. But the thing is, dude, like I like moved a lot. So I moved. We got kicked out, and then we had to go move, and I remember like the new school I went to, middle school was awesome, and I loved that experience. That's probably because I hated my home experience, really hated being at home. But like I loved that school because I had a lot of friends there, and everyone knew me, and it was the Einstein Academy Middle School. That's what it was called, and
How many different middle schools did you go to?
Middle school is one. I went
it's
to
just
a
one.
bunch of different elementary schools.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I called that previous school middle school, but like I know that was elementary school.
Gotcha.
And but like the middle school I went to, that was a fun experience, man. Cause like I don't know, it was challenging too, but they helped us because they wanted to like have a high curriculum. Also too, I had a lot of cool friends there, made a lot of good memories there.
You were probably able to like make these longer lasting friendships since you were actually there, instead of moving around. You were just at the one middle school the whole time.
Yeah, I was, and too, like I moved a few times while I was at that middle school, but my mom wanted me to stay at that middle school, and it was a charter school, so I love charter schools. You can like live in any part of town, and you can go to that school, or it doesn't matter. Like I went to Helix, La Mesa. I lived in North Park at the time, so I don't know, like that school was I really liked that. I had a great bond with my teachers. I think that's a cool thing to have, like when you have a good bond with your teacher
Yeah,
and stuff.
for sure.
We remember everyone is all in the office right now, like within Netflix, because of Netflix.
Oh yeah.
The people love watching that. I watch that stuff live, like every week Thursday, like at night. Like I would look forward to it. Me and my teacher would talk about it the next day.
Oh nice.
Like stuff like that. That was great. And I had like, I want to say, man, I had like 10 good friends. But like I said, like, eventually, like it comes to an end, right? Like you graduate, go to different high school or something like that. We all, because since it was a charter school, like everyone kind of had like lived in different areas and had different high schools they wanted to go to.
Yeah.
So everyone like wanted me to go to San Diego High, but I wanted to go to La Mesa because I wanted to play football. So I thought that'd be a good place to play football, and it was. So, yeah, I know. Like I really enjoyed middle school, but like because what I'm trying to get at is that like I had a bunch of like friends, right? Then I went to high school, and it just wasn't the same. I didn't have the same. I don't know if it's like something about it. Maybe I was feeling discouraged because of maybe a couple things that happened in middle school, like some like falling outs with some friends or whatever, or maybe like I just I don't know, like something changed a little bit. Everyone was bigger than me. Like a lot of things started to like change, like where I like my approach with being social.
Okay.
And even that's with being on a football team, having and I did hang out with some of them, but like I remember like in sophomore, junior, I really didn't like hang out with anybody. I went to a fucking the computer lab and stuff like that.
High school is intimidating.
Yeah,
For sure. Especially really for us scrawny white boys.
Scrawny white boys.
Yeah, and then you see the seniors that are like looking like they should be in college already.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe because you were in football, it could have. Plus, like combination, obviously, like almost none of your friends came over, so you're almost kind of alone. Because that's how I felt going into high school. Almost no one from my middle school went to my high school. It's like knowing hardly anybody, and then just it's the intimidation, I think, of this brand new school, tons of people, you don't know any of them, and high school kids they can be dicks sometimes too, so not everyone's super welcoming, so it's tough times for sure trying to make friends at a new school.
Yeah.
But I think that's things worked out. We ended up meeting each other, we met the twins, we got good friendships out of the high school, had a lot of good memories. So I kind of want to go back to, we're going to talk about high school obviously, but I'm curious because you're the Office OG. I don't know anyone that watched it back when it was like first airing. I only know people that were into it because of Netflix.
Yeah.
So I think for most people, like season 1 is like super slow, and you can't really get into it. Can't get into the entire show with season 1. You have to kind of either just start season 2 or like tough it out until season 2 because they like make changes.
Oh, there's some episodes of season 1 that I really like. I love the basketball episode. So.
So did you watch it like from the day it came out?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I did. Maybe episode 2 or 3.
Dang.
We watched it.
You're like a pop culture icon, pretty much.
Hey,
that's
bro.
That's like the biggest show, like next to like Game of Thrones or whatever.
Yeah.
That's like for the run that The Office has gone on.
Yeah.
It's like the biggest show.
I just remember season 2, like the first episode was Dundee Awards, bro. That was like the first episode me, my mom, and my brother like watched, and we were like laughing.
The show's
like, most of the time. It's just it was such a good one. And then like Ryan started the fire. Ryan started the fire. That episode was great. And yeah, I know. I like The Office, like stuff. Like I remember like that was kind of like my life, and it was in middle school. Like it was, like Office every week, charters on Sunday,
Good
going
times.
Mondays. Like talk some shit with, my teacher, dude. Like we were like I remember at the time like I hate the Lakers now, but I was like in middle school I was a Laker fan because like I think it's 'cause Kobe Bryant. I like Kobe Bryant so much, and he was a Celtics fan, and because he's from Boston, and I remember just like us like getting pizzas, bro. Like after like for when the NBA final when they were playing each other, because that's when I was in middle school. The NBA finals it was the Lakers versus Celtics one year, and we like would watch after after school. He'd get us pizzas and we'd get some soda and we'd watch the game, dude. Like man, that was like there was some like that was another good fucking.
I don't think I was ever that close to one of my teachers where I would hang out with them like after class or anything. But
yeah, he would get so disappointed in me if I got in trouble too. I like too like you could tell like he like really got disappointed if I got in trouble, bro. Like
you're like his kid.
Yeah, and like I remember like I did something so stupid. Like I was in class and you know they have those holes on the ceiling. Like ever seen like a video of someone throwing a like pencil up there and like hitting it?
Yeah.
And like a couple kids we were trying it and it wasn't working and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna stand on my chair and
just
put it up there
and
stick it on the ceiling.
And you got in trouble?
And like the teacher just like looked at me like, what the fuck are you doing? And like he was I just remember like going to lunch or something like that and he kind of he's like Jay like this stuck his hands up and gave me this most confused look. I'm like oh man, embarrassing, bro. There's a few different times too like where that guy's got my back. Like I should have been in more trouble, bro.
That's like, good. You got someone that's, on staff of the school you're at that has your back. That's huge.
Yeah. That was fun.
He give you that disappointed look or that I'm just disappointed. I'm not mad, I'm disappointed.
Oh, it was both, bro. It was both. It was disappointment, even mad. Worse. I want to kill you all in the same face.
Damn.
All in the same face. I got to work on that face when I'm a father. Cause that was a great fucking look, dude. Yeah. You need that. Fucking boys need that, dude.
It makes you feel like shit.
Well, I mean, obviously, right? Give them encouragement, be there, but like you need like that, like because we can just like the line that can be crossed will be crossed eventually, like in our mind, something like that, like the part of the brain that says don't do that, but then it turns into fuck it, I'm gonna do that stupid thing, like sorry.
But once there's that consequence, then it's like you have the fear of the consequence after.
You need a guy who's about 2 feet bigger than you, like 100 pounds more than you, to kind of look at you and be like, "What's your deal? What's your deal, kid?" And like I wish I had that more. See, like that's why I liked him. Like I didn't have a dad growing up, and I like that having like a kind of a father figure, kind of like in middle school. That was also awesome too. Cause like that dude, like it's oh my god, the looks he would give me are just classic, bro. Like I remember like too, like I remember like and he wasn't afraid to like call me out. Like I remember I got something wrong. Like I said like I got it all mixed. I got something all mixed up, and I don't know. Another kid was making fun of we were making fun of each other, and then like I went for big air, bro, and I said, "Hey, up yours," and like did some like gesture.
Oh no!
And he like kind of like I don't know how he heard it. He was talking to somebody, and he was like across the room. He like kind of like
he knows your voice.
He like looked across the room and said, "Jay, get out of here!" Like he like yelled at me, like, "Get out of here!" Dang. And like he said, "Get out of the classroom." And I got out of the classroom, and I'm but like he talked to me and stuff, and. But that's a part of it growing up right there. Like it's like trial and error kind of thing.
Yeah, I think you need that. You need that because, like you said, we're always going to try to test those boundaries. Just as human nature to try to see how far we can take things, and just because when we're younger, we don't know what's right and what's wrong necessarily. We don't know where that line is. Yeah. Like you said, so you kind of just need someone there for when you do test that boundary to kind of put you in check when you go a little too far. Yeah. And for those people that don't have that person to put them in check, I think that's where where they kind of go down a wrong path,
Mm-hmm.
and they just continue down that path instead of someone stopping them, telling them to go the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
we got pretty deep, just going off your middle school teacher. But I guess we can talk about high school now.
Boo.
Would you say?
Nah.
Would you say you had other best friends besides like
Oh.
you know the clique we're kind of in now?
Not really. No, I won't say any names,
Mm-hmm.
but I remember I had a couple friends that kind of like I look back at it and I was like, I don't know why I hung out with these people. Like, but like they were actually that's harsh, bro. That's harsh. He was actually pretty cool.
Mm.
I don't know why I said that, but like I just remember like a couple times like they just would do stuff. Like I remember one time like he like came to school and he he had like some really strong alcohol from Mexico
Oh damn.
or something like that, and he just like fucking fell over on the grass and like before class started, and then like he got up and then like we kept going. And I don't know what happened. I the rest of the day I can't even remember. I just remember that. I just remember him fucking falling, bro, on the grass.
That was one of your best friends at the
Yeah,
time?
see, that's the thing though. I don't know if I would call him like my best friend at the time. He was like kind of the person I kind of hung out with.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because that's during a time where I wasn't a very social person.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't want to do it. Like I kind of like wanted to hang out.
Yeah.
Go in the computer lab. Go on the
Yeah.
computer. Not really interact with anybody.
I think
Kind of thing.
in high school we were kind of in like a big-ish high school. We had like 700 people in our grade alone. So in the high school itself, like 2,000 people total. So we kind of had options, I guess, if you're like social enough. So for me, I feel like I bounced around kind of friend groups. There was a point in time where I was like out there playing football, like on the like near the basketball courts, whatever, with like Steve and Jonah and them. So I hung out with them for a little while. That was only maybe like half a year, something like that. And then I hung out with another group, like Richard.
Oh, Richard?
Yeah, comedy guy.
See, dude, like I wish I hung out with kids like
They're cool.
I wish I hung out with Richard, bro.
Yeah, because they're like, he doesn't really care about what other people think. He's just cool and he's just being himself and he's not a dick to anyone.
Who's that blonde kid? What's his name?
Oh, I know. Cameron
Cameron.
White? Cameron White, yeah.
Cameron White.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say your last name, Mr. Cameron, but I didn't mean to put you on blast, but Cameron's super cool, for sure.
He had a cool project
Mhm.
for film and literature, and then like I remember like his teacher said something and it wasn't positive, and he was kind of like discouraged about it. I was like, that kind of sucks. Bro.
He was really good, though. I think I remember seeing that film you talk about. I think they're really good filmmakers for being in high school.
Yeah.
But yeah, hung out with Richard and I don't know if you know like John and Victor, who was also kind of in that crowd, but them and Henry, I don't know if you know Henry.
I haven't known so many Henrys since
He
high
was
school.
a little more
so I can't really...
quiet at school, but the three of them, not with Richard, we went to my first rave together, actually.
Yeah, you were telling me about
during
this,
high
actually.
school.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool, yeah. I was like super shy and timid during high school, so
Yeah, that's because you didn't have something to enhance your mood, bro.
exactly. I went to a rave sober, which was my first mistake. Not advocating anyone listening do drugs, especially any of you youngsters. I know we got at least one youngster listening to this, but yeah, it was a good experience. I guess I could have, because I didn't end up going to my second rave until I was like 24, 23 or something like that. And this first one I was like 17, 16. But looking back, I wish I had like taken advantage more of that scene, because everyone there is like super friendly and just like good attitude for the most part. I remember like it was early, we were pretty early to it, and so the dance floor was pretty much like empty for the most part. It was like people were starting to fill in, so we were just kind of standing around, and this girl in like a tutu came up and like bent over in front of me basically, and it was basically like an invitation for me to dance with her.
Yeah.
But I didn't take the invitation because I was like shy and timid and a little bit confused as to what I was supposed to do.
Oh, really?
So I missed my chance. But But I did end up like dancing with a girl or two there, but nothing too crazy. It was good experience, but yeah, just reminiscing back to those days with them, because I think there's still like I still see John currently on Instagram. He's like starting his own business. So like I said, like even if you don't talk to them for a while, like I bought something from his company, this little mala bracelet, and I see Victor's like taking photos and putting them on Instagram. He's really good. And it's just, people that even you kind of drift away from being friends with them and hanging out with them all the time. It's just, luckily we're in an age where we can still keep in touch pretty easily and reach out anytime and be able to, get in contact with them same day if we needed to. So it's just a good time to be alive for sure.
Dude, what do you remember about high school and middle school dances? Because I don't know, I was thinking about that. I was thinking like
I did not go to a single dance in high school or middle school.
I went to a bunch in middle school. I went to one, I think, in high school.
I did not go to prom.
Me neither.
I didn't go to any of the homecoming dances. Like every time they would come up, like back in middle school, like when the first one came up, I was interested. I was like, maybe, but I just didn't pull the trigger and go. I don't think I had anyone that really like kind of nudged me to go or anything, or like, I don't know if any of my friends were really going, but I think like every time a new homecoming would come up, I was like interested, but didn't want to go. And then slowly it got easier to just say no, I'm not going to go. And by the time it was like prom, I was like, no, I'm definitely not going to prom. But I've seen pictures. I don't know, you got stories?
No, I think like in middle school, bro, like I remember like going to dances, and I remember the first one. I had some cool ones like I went to that were fun. Like I remember the first one that ever happened at Einstein Academy. Like no one was dancing for the most part, but I danced with a girl a couple times for a few different songs, and I just remember like people kind of talking about it the next day, and because I wasn't just cool with one teacher, bro. I was cool with a bunch of different teachers,
Okay.
and one of the science teachers was like talking about like calories and like or like energy and burning, and he was like, so when you get moving around like Jay at the dance floor, like you're
burning your calories.
Burning your calories, something like that, bro. And like
Something
everyone
nerdy.
laughed, and I was like, I forgot my reaction, but I remember that like, and I just remember like my sis like, again, I definitely won't say the names here, but like my best friend's sister was who I was dancing with, and he was cool with it, and like we started going out, and I remember him coming to school one day and be like, hey bro, like we were playing board games, she's crazy bro, you shouldn't date her. We're playing board games, and she like started chasing around with a knife or something, like some crazy
they got into a fight.
Yeah, some crazy ass fucking shit, and I just remember like thinking like, cause she was some black girl from Detroit, bro, and I was like, cause I like thought she was really hot and I liked her, but for some reason I should have just ignored my best friend, to be honest. Like she's not gonna stab me, bro. She's just gonna stab you because I should have said like you're her brother, bro. Like I remember times wanting to hit my brother, maybe not stab him, but like. That's your sibling.
Yeah.
I think I was safe, bro,
Yeah.
but for some reason maybe I got all scared.
Yeah, I think he was probably just trying to get back at her more than help you, right?
Yeah.
His revenge on her is making you break up with her.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But that was actually, if I look back at it, that was fun, bro. Because, I don't know, like that whole like dynamic, bro. That was interesting. But like there's that dance, and then I remember the next dance, there was, like, it sucked, and then I remember the next dance after that, I did not go, and then I heard about it the next day, and, like, they said it was crazy, like, everyone was dancing with each other and stuff, and, like, I was like, oh, dang. I missed it, and then the next one, it was good again. It wasn't, like, crazy, but
Mm-hmm.
it was really cool.
I feel like my middle school dances would have been good because I remember, like, we would have lunches where they would play music sometimes, and kids would actually, like, get into, like, the middle of it and start doing dances, like, to certain songs, like Soulja Boy or whatever. They
Oh,
would do dances to
uh,
Superman,
you,
that, yeah.
you.
Superman, that hoe. Yeah, I kind of regret not going, so if any middle schoolers are listening, hopefully not, but, go to your
Go to
dances.
dances,
Be
dude.
social. Go to clubs, not regular clubs. Like, get
Don't
involved,
go to
right?
Johnny V's.
Yeah, get involved in your school extracurricular stuff, and make friends.
Yeah, that's important too. Like, I think I was reading that. Come on, that's an important thing.
Hmm.
Unless you're some genius, right? Maybe being really introverted and like not talking to anybody can help you in some way.
Just to
Get
like
you to like maybe
keep
focus.
your genius.
Yeah, keep or like focus on one thing, and then
Hmm.
like boom, you invent something,
Yeah.
or like you make this great idea or great for a great business or.
Hmm.
But other than that, dude,
For
like
the rest of us.
the rest of us, like talking and interacting with people is important.
Yeah, because you
So
learn from everyone, and just being social is like, it's kind of like an antidepressant and everything. Like, I don't know. You finished my
well,
thought.
yeah, well, dude, like yeah, because like human beings, right, need contact with each other or they
Hmm.
need some sort of contact, and I think like it's important, like you growing up with or the kids you grew up with, the kids I grew up with. Obviously, I had I had many different like cultures I hung around, dude. Like I was in Santee, bro, and I just remember like just to give a quick summary, like what kids were like growing up. I remember being at Santee, and I remember this. I kind of was uncomfortable because like there was the crowd. It was actually kind of small where they like, listen to punk rock or listen to rock or heavy metal.
Hmm.
The rest, because Eminem was hot back in the day, the rest, I swear, it was. I felt like it was a bunch of white kids trying to be black, and that was my opinion at the time. It was just them interested in hip hop. It wasn't them trying to be black. It was just them liking Eminem. And
Yeah.
like I remember like us being at the lunch tables when we were kids, and everyone loved the song "Lose Yourself" so much, bro. Like we would sing. It was about like 10 or 15 of us. We would sing that song, bro. Like the first verse, everyone knew, like line for line.
Hmm.
The second verse, people, some people knew the whole thing, some people didn't.
Hmm.
A couple kids knew the whole song.
Those are the cool kids.
Yeah, those are the rock stars, bro.
Uh-huh.
Those are and I just remember, I remember that like, there's that crowd, and then I remember when I went to IB, it was, a lot different.
Mhm.
Kids are a little rougher, and they different skin color. Honestly, I liked it there better than I liked it in Santee, and then but then I went to more of a progressive school, Albert Einstein Academy. If you ever go there, that's like a really progressive school. Like kids are liberal there, and I grew up kind of like my mom was conservative, and so I kind of had conservative ideals and like opinions, but like I had all my friends were atheists and liberal, and I interacted with a lot of different like kids growing up,
That's
which
super
was helpful
important.
because I
Yeah.
know I gained an idea about like how different people think or how people
Yeah, it's just seeing all these different perspectives, then you get to form like a more educated opinion, right?
Right.
Because you have all this other information about whatever it is, so then you're basically you have a better like a more educated response to things.
Right.
Because if you're just like super right wing and that's all you've been brought up around and that's all you know, you don't even know what else is out there. So how can you form
Right.
any other opinion when that's all you have? So get out there, get social, and yeah, just learn all the other opinions, even if you don't agree with them. Just understand where they're coming from, and
Yeah.
I think that's super important.
Well, do you think like social media or sites like that help at all? I haven't been on in a while, and
Mm-hmm.
I just remember how it used to be. I don't know what it's like now, and I haven't had Snapchat since for like 5 or 6 years. So
Yeah. I don't have Snapchat anymore. I don't think that one is any use
oh really?
for the most part. There is news on there now, but I think that's like corny news, like super like celebrity based, what celebrities are doing. I think that's useless information. Um, but as far as like, I think Twitter is where you can find the most like useful information, because it's just text really. But for all of them, it's all about like catering your feed, following people that um, are kind of unbiased, and even if they're only giving one side of the story, as long as it's truthful all the time,
Mm-hmm.
then you're getting those facts, and then you just follow people that are on the other side of it, and you
Mm-hmm.
get all those facts. But if you kind of fill up your feed with like bullshit, and you're just following celebrities, or people that are getting paid to say this thing about this company,
Mm-hmm.
or politicians that are completely corrupt or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's up to you to kind of, I don't know, filter out the bullshit and
Right.
find the good stuff, but it's out there. That's kind of what I'm doing right now, because there's a lot of junk that I think it just you get caught up in it, and I think it overwhelms your brain. Like, you're just scrolling your feed for hours, and there's all this useless information, but your brain doesn't necessarily know it's useless.
Yeah.
So it's still kind of like computing it as if it's data. So I say make that stuff on your feed, something that you want your brain to compute
Right.
in a way.
I wonder though how much it's us though, like kind of tripping us out, like if it's really is useful and useless or useful
Mm-hmm.
information, or we're like the kind of like how we process it is the problem. Because something could be put out right, and then I got a whole bunch, like say I got some whole bunch of fucked up shit in my head,
Mm-hmm.
or how I take things,
It's
right,
true.
and it comes out the other side, and it's like that's not what it was intended for.
Right.
Like I remember being like I had to delete Instagram. Instagram was the first thing I deleted
Mm-hmm.
because I was on fucking sports pages and like looking at comments, bro. And some of them were cool, but some of them just pissed me off, bro. And like I just remember, I think I commented back 3 times, random stuff to random different people,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember one comment in particular. It was something about Philip Rivers, bro. I just remember so I read this and now I'm picturing in my head. I'm playing a movie in my head, bro. I'm like playing a fucking movie in my head, like Philip Rivers like getting revenge, or he goes throughout this season. He's like he throws a winning touchdown to to fucking Antonio Gates for the Super Bowl. And it's like some crazy play. No one thought he was mobile, but he runs there left and right, and then he fucking chucks it to the corner end zone. What an arm!
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. And I'm like, this took up literally me picturing this, and it wasn't like a great um what's the word like
Quality.
fond like memory. Like it
Okay.
wasn't like a good, like it was like kind of like
Hazy.
no, it was kind of like me like reveling, or like kind of like revenge, like a negative kind
Okay.
of like thought process
Okay.
that I was thinking for 15 minutes, dude.
Dang.
And I look back, I'm just like looking at this comment, and I'm still on the page, dude. And like I'm thinking about it now, and it's like that person just put out his opinion, bro. Like, he was
Mm-hmm.
probably just fucking around, maybe, or just like whatever. And the way I take it is super fucking personal. It has nothing to do with me, dude. And like I don't know, like sometimes like I wonder about that. Like, is it really just like, is it really social media, or is it really like how that's set up? Is it really that bad, or is it how we're taking it? Kind of thing.
I think it's probably case by case. It's probably like, because social media is so new. I think it's gonna be a while for everyone to learn to not take it so serious, especially comments, like, because you don't know what their intention is.
Yeah.
Like, there's trolls now, right?
Right.
But you also don't know the tone of their voice. Like, if they were to say that, would they be saying it sarcastically, or are they like, do they seriously have like negative intentions with it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't know. So yeah, I try to avoid comment sections completely. I try to just, like I said, I'm kind of following the people that I think have credibility. Just the bigger accounts that can bring positive influence to my life, either like useful information or they're I don't know, they're people that can inspire me, I guess, to like be a better person and do better things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but just kind of to circle back, I think social media is good to keep in contact with people because, like, you don't know if you, like, for me, I don't keep my contacts in my phone, like,
Mm-hmm.
all the time. Like, I delete them and stuff. So, like, people from my middle school that I used to be really good friends with, I don't have their number anymore, and they probably don't have the same number as back then. So I have to use social media to get to them. Um, I think the same thing is going to be the case, like if you and I, or the twins or whoever, if we kind of fade away and we all like start families and stuff, we might change our numbers and not, um,
Right.
reach out to tell each other like I got a new number.
Dang.
So you need social
True.
media. So I think it's a useful tool.
Oh man, if I'm gone, I'm gone then.
Yeah,
You'll
you're
never
gonna
find me.
you're basically living in the freaking forest or something with
Yeah.
no electricity, no Wi-Fi.
I'm in the mountains in Arizona.
You might as well be. But yeah, I think let's finish it off with our current best friends, our analysis of our
Yeah,
current.
like so. Yeah, obviously, right. So obviously, we talked to all these people. There's falling outs, maybe, or maybe it's just you just grow apart. But then, right, like you eventually like you meet some people or obviously some people they meet a guy or a girl and that's where they invest their time.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, I think ones like that but like college right can like kind of mess things up for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I don't think it did. That's crazy. I think that's like a special thing for what I have with my friends is that I don't have things that like messed up like our relationship to where we're not talking anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like it kind of stuck out. There's a lot of different people just didn't stop talking to each other or didn't continue to talk to each other, and they went to separate ways. And maybe that's a good. For someone, it's a good thing they started a family and. Like a lot of dudes out there, I know that's important. They started a family and they started that time, started investing a little more time in that.
Yeah.
I just know for me, I gained some really good friendships like senior year in high school,
Mm-hmm.
and that shit's really important to me. Obviously, I've work and I have a career now and stuff like that, and I have a family that I talk to more than I used to. I used to not talk to my family really at all. I used to ignore them a lot, but like now I talk to them quite a bit, and I talk to my friends, and I have a career, and so stuff like that, dude. You gotta have like it compartmentalized.
Mm-hmm.
It's like speaking of The Office, bro. Like there was a scene, bro. Like I will never forget, dude. Like it was like it's where Michael's office, right, got like had something was in there and like it created a bad smell in his.
Oh, someone shit in his office.
Yeah, someone shit in his office.
Uh-huh.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Yes, like and there was like a bad smell and right, and so he thought like someone in the office did it,
Mm-hmm.
right, and so he talks to his old boss, like for advice that he doesn't like his old boss. 'Cause he thought he was mean, but his old boss was like. They get in a conversation about like having your employees like you and like
Mm-hmm.
he's like no he's like you can't be nice or you can't be friends with everyone you can't and then he's like yes you can. Michael's like yes you can love a boss like you love a father and like he's like I'm not so sure it works out that way. And then he said why can't your friends be your friends, your work be your work, and your family be your family. It's like you kind of can compartmentalize,
Yeah.
or you should, and you should have like those three things. I think you should have family, friends, and or a purpose or like a kind of like a
some type of fulfillment.
fulfillment
Maybe
way
if
of
it's in
making
your
money or
career, hopefully. Yeah.
I think those are important things.
Yeah, those are probably the three biggest ones.
There's probably a couple other ones.
Yeah.
I can't think of.
And like you said, like, I guess they are categories, right? So there's three different ones, but there's always going to be some type of overlap. It's tough not to. Like, obviously, you guys have come over to my house and interact with my family, so there's a little bit of overlap there. Like, June is my friend, and we ended up working together for a little bit. Mm-hmm. She got me my current job. So there's always a little bit of overlap, but yeah, I just think finding a balance of those three things. I know for me, friends and family have kind of taken, I feel like they've dropped a little bit, and it's mostly on me because I was too focused on work and, you know, projects that I have going on personally. Luckily, I live with some friends, so I still see them every day. Mm-hmm. But finding that balance is tough. Yeah. It's real tough. But I think everyone, like, our close friends have been friends for like 10 plus years now. Everyone that we've known from high school, Danny and Randy and Hugh, it's 10 plus years, so that's a strong bond. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to get rid of me too easily, right? So I think one thing I wanted to say was that I think at a certain point, at a certain age, you stop like really making best friends. And I feel like you guys are like somewhat my end of the line. Yeah. For like, I don't know how many more best friends that I'm gonna make. I'm not really out there searching and socializing, so I feel like you guys are for life now. Yeah. You know.
Well, I mean, too, you never know. You never know what happens, but like at the same time, like yeah, you like you think by now, like yeah, you have like I said, you have certain things you did or you're doing, right? Mm-hmm. You have your family, you have your friends, you have your work. Yeah. Unless you gain some like human relationships from work, or of course you go to the gym, and you know you never know, right? And two, you can't predict who's gonna be your best friend too. I didn't predict any of that, dude. Like, and two, that was a slow thing with Randy and Danny. Like, I remember, like, study hall, it was junior year when I wasn't really hanging out with everybody. That's when we first started hanging out. That's when we were, like, fucking around and rapping in study hall. Like, that, you know, that's where we first met. But, like, we didn't really start hanging out till senior year. And I wouldn't have predicted, like, hey, like, we'd be hanging out today. Yeah. In junior year. You never know what's gonna come. Yeah. But, so stay on your toes.
Yeah, but I think for me, I'm just, like if someone was to ask me like at work if they wanted to hang out, probably for 95% of them or probably all of them, I would probably say no. Hey. Because like, it's just my priorities. Like I have work and everything I'm working on, so I'm being selfish right now with a lot of my time, and then I have my girlfriend, and then my roommates and you guys. And it's like, I already don't make enough time for you guys. Right. So adding another person into my life that I don't have this 10-year bond with, I'm like, I'm not interested. Yeah, not interested. Yeah, no. Like, not that they couldn't be my best friend or whatever, but...
But if there was something, bro, that like, caught your attention, though, like, say they invited you to... I don't know. Like, say if you were, this is like hypothetical right now at this point, because obviously you said you would say no. But like, say you were a single dude, bro, and like said, hey, we're going to Mexico, going to Tijuana, or like we're going here. Yeah. And like, say you're like in a mood, right? And usually you're like, no, bro, I want to go home and make some noodles and fucking like watch Netflix. Watch Netflix. That's how I usually am. But like you're in a mood, bro, where you're like feeling like, I want to go do something. It's just like that, bro. Like you go hang out
and never leave.
Never leave. Yeah, never leave. Yeah, why would you want to leave Mexico to come back home, bro?
Yeah, there
at that point where you're just getting trashed and hanging out with a bunch of coworkers. No, dude. Like I said, you never know, right? Like that could take like one night, and then all of a sudden they're like, hey, like I can do that again. Although we are getting older, and there might be it might be like that was fun, but
well, it doesn't even
I
have to
don't
be
know.
partying. Like to your point, like if someone was to come up with me like business wise, and like say I don't know they saw my work or whatever, or just someone that acknowledges like my work ethic and they give me this proposal to like work with them on something huge,
Yeah.
then there could be like if they offered to fly me to San Francisco or New York or something to like work on this startup or whatever, that could be an opportunity that I wouldn't want to pass up, and that could be life changing. So that's true. Never say never. You guys might not be the end all, but as it stands right now,
Yeah.
I think you guys are my bros for life. So
Bros for life.
yeah.
That's also a little weird, right? Like little prediction when people say that, it's always cracks me up. Bros for life. It's like you don't know what's gonna happen in the future, bro.
Yeah. Most likely, like we won't be bros for life.
Ah, come on, dude. I'm
not
just
being
saying.
it's
I'm just
a little
just saying.
pessimistic, but yeah, you never know. You're right.
I just think it's funny when people say that, bros for life. It's like the first thing. I don't know. That's like
They
kind
have
of
good
the
intentions.
pessimistic part of my thought process. It's like bros for life until it's not for life, right? Like,
Yeah. I think everyone has good intentions saying that though, trying to build a bond. But yeah, I don't know. You got any other best friend stories? We're at the hour mark, so.
Nah, dude. I'm sure I do.
We could probably talk about this for days, but
yeah.
we like to keep these around an hour. Hopefully you guys have kind of been reminiscing along with us here, reminiscing about your best friends. I think that's it. So thank you for listening to the 4th episode of Jacob and Jay's podcast, Jotting Down Thoughts. If you're listening, make sure you're subscribed. We put out a podcast pretty much every week, as long as we're in town and not coming down with the coronavirus or whatever.
Yeah.
There's also other videos.
Coronavirus happens when you drink a bunch of Coronas the night before, right?
Yeah, so don't get hammered, people. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up. If you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. We put out these. We put out other videos. I've got challenge videos where I've done no social media for 30 days. I've meditated for an hour every day for 30 days. I've got 10 other challenges I'm planning to do this year, plus a bunch of other videos. So yeah, follow us on social media and subscribe here. Like the video if you enjoyed it and you made it to the end. All right. See ya.